Hello girlfriends and welcome to another episode of Tried and Tested. Now you guys are always requesting for food episodes, so today we are going to do a food episode, but it's a little bit different from the rest. So we're not doing like the usual cup noodles or snacks or candies. We are going to do what some might call unusual and exotic foods. Ooh, what does that mean? Okay, so just to caveat this, I usually order like the thing that is a little bit odd on the menu, and some people might call that weird food, but actually some of these things seem quite okay to me. Like literally, like if I saw it in the menu, I'd be like, that's lunch or that's dinner. And some of you might find this a little bit strange, but maybe after this episode, you'll give it a shot. Let's see. What we have here is lamb brain soup and lamb tongue soup. We got it from a mutton soup store. I actually love mutton soup, but as I'm smelling this, it does smell a little bit different from mutton soup. I don't know why, but it looks the same. Actually, brains have been cooked and eaten for a long time, but I think they've kind of fallen out of favor. But in some parts of the world, it's like absolutely very common. It is very high cholesterol, so don't eat too much of it. I like pig brains, they're very yummy, but I have never tried lamb brain before. That's so good. It's like creamy and a bit livery, slightly irony taste. It reminds me of something, but I can't remember what. Pate! Yeah, it's a bit like pate, but like the outside is a bit bouncier than pates and there's a bit more of a bite. I'm gonna try the soup. It kind of tastes like mutton soup, but like creamier almost. If you've had like collagen soup, it kind of tastes like collagen soup. The brain itself is creamy, the soup is a bit creamy, so everything just fits together so nicely. This is slightly different from pig brain, because pig brain kind of falls apart a bit more like tofu. This one feels a little bit harder. Brain, some people feel it has a bit of a smell. I guess it's a gamey kind of smell, like a meat game, or fishy or something. It's a very distinctive smell, and like this soup is such a lovely match to it. It's like, I don't know, it's like spices. It just balances out that flavor really nicely because it cuts through the heavy denseness of it. It's not super hot or spicy, but there is a bit of a kick of something in there, which is lovely. Oh, absolutely delicious. 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. So good. All right, let's try this lamb tongue. I think we found the tip of the tongue, guys. I have feelings about that. It's a very weird feeling because like recognizing that was the tip of the tongue. The tip of the tongue was like this, and then my tongue was like this, and it was kind of like there. So I kind of felt a bit weird. Because I was like, kind of makes it real when you see a part of the thing. Then, but I was like, oh, but what am I talking about? I just like looked at a whole brain, right? But I think it's different because like when the tongue is on the tongue, you know what I mean? Yeah. Ooh. We'll probably stick to the back parts of the tongue instead. Because the front part's a bit too... Ooh, I can feel it. I can still feel like the tongue rubbing against mine. It's a very strange feeling. So I found another part of the tongue, and I think that these are the taste buds. Like lamb tongue, like the taste bud doesn't go all the way. Like there's one part that's just smooth, and then there's another part like just with taste buds. Okay, so that part of the tongue, the skin is like thicker and also with more texture, so a bit more almost like very thin leather. I think this looks very tendony. I have a feeling that this is probably the back. Lots of cartilagey bits in here and slightly, I think, muscly parts mixed with that really tender meat. This part is very interesting texturally. Now, I like this part because it's kind of fun to chew because you have the soft, you have the muscly, you have the tendony. It's like a nice mix. I think that the lamb tongue is really fun. I think there is a lot more variety in terms of texture. Some parts of the skin of the tongue I'm just not quite for me, so I imagine if I were to be eating it, I would be like cutting out all the skin. I think the texture for the tongue meat to me is like a really tenderly cooked duck, like a bit crossed with like the firmness of a mutton. I really like the texture of the meat of the tongue. I think the soup is the same for both. So this is from a famous kambing soup place in Upper Boon Keng, and it is so good. Oh my god, this is delicious. They have regular kambing soup too, and the soup is yummy. So I think I would give this like a 10. It's good. Personally, I'm not a fan of the skin, so I would take that down to like a 9. I mean, if you do like the skin and you like the texture of the meat, then you know, if not for that, yeah, I would give it a 10. So next up we have crickets and silkworms. So these are the crickets, and ooh, these are the silkworms. Eating bugs is actually part of like many different cultures in the world, and a lot of people have them like as a drinking snack. Okay, so let's try maybe the cricket first. This smells a little bit like fried plastic. It's interesting because it kind of almost reminds me of like small bits of fried some kind of skin. It as a seasoning or even as like a snack. It could be like small bits of like fried skin, chicken skin, or like I don't know what, but the way they seasoned it is actually really nice. Just now, I was pretty sure the head tasted different from the body, but let me try. Yeah, the head is a little bit more like you know how when you eat prawn heads, like there's a more pungent smell that comes from the prawn head. So I personally like to eat prawn heads, like to suck out the juices of the prawn head. But if you eat the part where the eyes are, that part tastes a little bit different from the bottom part of the head. So that tasted like the eye part. I prefer the body. I prefer the body to the head. Like you see, it's so small, it's almost a bit like rice. I imagine people just kind of like eating it by the mouthful. It's a bit like very light, very airy ikan bilis. Ikan bilis is a little bit harder, but this has lighter crunch. This is really quite good. Alright, let's try these. Silkworms. It really smells like carrot cake. There's a meaty, nutty texture to it. There is a slight, very slight bug flavor. It's quite juicy actually. I think like if you're drinking, this could be so good. The inside is a little bit pasty. It's a bit like, you know the ang ku kueh? Then they have that green bean one, the dry green bean one. It's a bit like that kind of texture. And it's good because it's got that crunch, but also it has a substantial meaty flavor, which I think is kind of hard to find because like for example, if you had spam fries, the outside is a bit crunchy, the inside is meaty, but you don't get the light crunchy crispiness of like this exoskeleton. But they season this so nicely. I don't know what it is, like, I don't know. Garlic, soy, sesame oil maybe. Anyhow only. Like macam I cook. I think I would give this a 10 because I love the contrasting textures. This, I think I would give this a 7 because while the texture is quite nice and if you want something crunchy, it definitely hits the mark. But I feel like this one, there's so much exoskeleton that it is a bit drying. That plasticky smell, it wafts in and out, but it's slightly not quite my thing. Yeah, but this is yummy. Actually, yeah, with bugs, the preparation does seem to be quite important because that time I remember I ate a scorpion. When I ate it, I was like, ooh, this is quite nice. It kind of reminded me a bit of like soft shell crab. But my friend who was eating it was like, oh, it tastes so bad. It tastes like that smell when you like crush a bug. That smell that comes out. She said it tastes like that. I didn't know what she was talking about. Then later on, third or fourth one that I had, I was like, oh, now I know what you're talking about. That scorpion did not taste good. So if I had started with that scorpion, I wouldn't have tried another one. I think with a lot of bugs, it's the exoskeleton that kind of gets to you because it almost tastes like you're crunching on plastic. I've tried silkworm before. The one that I tried, the way it was prepared, it tasted really nutty and it was in a salad. So that was quite interesting. And I've also had, I think it's a coconut worm, a coconut grub. You know Lion King, Timon and Pumbaa, then that bug with the black head and the big fat white body. No, it's like a grub and then they... So it's that bug. I've eaten a zebra tarantula. So that's quite nice. It tastes a bit like dried pork floss. It's a bit hairy. And bee larva. Bee larva looks like small versions of this. Like, so good. So here we have deer penis soup, and it's supposed to have a lot of therapeutic properties, including like being an aphrodisiac. So here we got it from a Singapore restaurant that sells it in a soup. This is interesting because this is like $35, which is not cheap for a bowl of soup. I guess it gives you an indication as to how special deer penis is. So the soup is really quite tasty. A bit sweet, a bit bitter, very tang. The clarity is really nice. Okay, so let's try the penis. No real distinctive flavor really, actually. Like I feel like all the flavor is coming from the soup. It's a bit crunchy. It does taste like a sea cucumber. Maybe a bit like sea cucumber, drier than sea cucumber. Because like it's not like jellyfish because it doesn't have that kind of wet sliminess. Actually, the inside is really quite, I mean it's weird to say, but it's almost quite dry even though it's been soaking in soup for a while. When you bite through it, it's like soft, but then it's got more of a crunchiness than agar does. I just saw the pee hole. Is that where the pee comes out from? Yeah, that's a yummy soup. Deer penis or no deer penis. I like the texture of it. It's good. 10. And it's also supposed to be good for your health, so I guess 10. This is Ika Shiokara. What it is squid sashimi that has been mixed with its own innards and then left to ferment. I love sashimi. And looking at this, like the way that they've used it, it kind of makes me think of natto or uni even, but I'm not sure. Yeah, this sounds interesting because I haven't had raw innards before. It smells really good. Kind of doesn't smell like squid. It smells like something fishy and salty. It's very salty and it's very slimy. To some people who are very sensitive to like raw food feels like it's very slimy. This is like slimy times 100 because there's also a slight like stickiness. There's a bit of a roll-like flavor. This really tastes like mentaiko to me. The squid is still very firm and crunchy almost. It is a little bit sour, like a pickle almost, right? If no one told me this was innards, I never would have guessed. Delicious! I'll give it like a 10 out of 10. So good. So for most people, when they prepare chicken, they will throw away the butt. But in a lot of cultures, it's actually very common to eat it. So they prepare it in a few different ways. Like they can grill it, deep fry it, barbecue it, etc, etc, etc. So I actually quite like chicken butt. So I find the meat to be very soft and tender and tasty. So today we have some chicken butt, and this is slightly different from the ones that I usually eat. Usually the ones I have, you can like see the whole butt. So what we have here is from a Japanese charcoal grill place. I think they've taken out like the bones and everything. If you had this on a plate, you would not know that this was chicken butt. What I quite like about chicken butt, like, okay, so this one, it feels like you're eating lumps of fat, but there's still a bit of meat. It kind of feels like it's all mixed together, and it's just quite fatty and oozy, which is quite good. I'm eating all of this. Like for this one, I feel like I'm eating more meat just because they've taken out all the bones, so it's made it easier. So the last time that I had like the full chicken butt, actually there's like a bit of like bone, like small little bones in it. So I would kind of like eat around it, but I guess like sometimes also if you want to, you can sort of eat it the way you would eat like a chicken claw. Like you would kind of like suck around the bone because the bone just kind of falls apart. It's everything around it is just really tender. The last time I had it, it was from a Taiwanese street food chain. But apparently they stopped selling it, so I guess maybe it wasn't so popular. I think that if I could have it so conveniently prepared, I think it would definitely be one of my favorite chicken parts. Rating, I don't know, 10 out of 10. We've already come to the end of the episode. If you have already subscribed to the channel, very good. Now all you need to do is hit that bell so you'll be notified every time a new video comes out onto YouTube. Or you can just download the Clicknetwork app and you can watch the videos before they come out onto YouTube. Till next time, mwah, go be beautiful!